The NHL draft lottery is around the corner and we're about to find out the fate of Connor Bedard. But instead of doing a draft lottery, I've put the bottom 16 teams into a bracket together and the winner's going to get Connor Bedard. But when I say the winner of this bracket, it's actually not the team that wins games. Instead of the winning team advancing through each round, it's actually going to be the losing team. So in order to get Connor Bedard, you got to go 0 for 4. And let's get right into this, and we got our first matchup being the Calgary Flames taking on the Anaheim Ducks. And if your team does have a chance at Connor Bedard, there's one way you can improve the draft lottery odds. Subscribing to stick on the ice. It's a known fact that if you subscribe, the chance of your team getting Connor Bedard goes up about 10%. These statistics have not been fact checked nor tested. So if you're part of the 75% of people that aren't subbed to the channel, subscribe right now and help improve your team's odds of drafting Connor Bedard. 4 minutes into the first period, Jonathan Huberdeau is going to bring the puck into the offensive zone and nobody's going to be picking him up. He's going to slowly skate before dishing it over to Chris Tanev. Tanev's getting a shot off and then he's going to get his own rebound. He's burying the first goal of the game. 5.5 minutes later, Comtois is going to have control of the puck in the neutral zone. He's going to enter the offensive zone. He's going to fight off a defender. As he works his way towards the net, he's going to find Max Jones wide open. He's sending that over to him and then Max Jones is ripping a shot into the back of the net and this game's all tied up. The Anaheim Ducks are going to keep on pushing as Grant attempts to get a shot off, but it's going to go behind the net. Silverberg's going to race to the puck. He's grabbing it and he's going to send it right back to Grant, but this time around Grant's going to score the goal and he's giving Anaheim a 2-1 lead. Definitely not what this team wants. And with that goal, the Ducks are entering the intermission with a 2-1 lead. 5 minutes into the second period, the Calgary Flames are going to be on the power play. Dubé's going to get the puck behind the net and he's dishing it over to Richie. Richie's getting a shot off and Dubé's going to deflect this one to the back of the net, but the ref's calling this one off. I don't know what he's calling off though. It wasn't high sticking. There was no goalie interference. The goal is going to stand, but bro, what were you looking at? And that goal from Dubé is going to be the lone goal of the period, so we're entering the intermission in a 2-2 tie. In the final minutes of the third period, Trevor Zegras is picking the puck up at the top of the zone, and he's sending it over to Vetrano. That pass is going to get Jacob Markstrom absolutely lost. That's giving Vetrano a wide open net, and now the Anaheim Ducks have the lead late in the game. The Flames would make a late push, but it just isn't going to be enough, and the Anaheim Ducks are going to be completing the upset, taking down the Calgary Flames, and that's exactly what they don't want to do, because now the Anaheim Ducks are eliminated, and the Calgary Flames are advancing to the second round. Moving on to our next match, we're going to have the Washington Capitals taking on the Detroit Red Wings. We're not going to be seeing as much offense as we did in the Anaheim Ducks game, as we're entering the first intermission in a 0-0 tie. And it's actually going to be staying like that heading into the second intermission, as we're going to be entering the third period in a scoreless game. So basically 99% of this game is going to be a scoreless one, but eventually someone's getting on the board. A slap shot from Jensen's headed towards the net. Mantha's going to deflect this one to the back of the net. That's the game winner, and the Washington Capitals, they're going to be falling in the first round. It's kind of weird to phrase it like that, the winning team falling. But hey, that's what it is, and now Detroit still has a chance at Connor Bedard. We have ourselves an all-Canadian matchup up next, and that's going to be the Ottawa Senators taking on the Montreal Canadiens. And I'm starting to think these teams are figuring out the rules of the game, because in the first period, it's going to be a scoreless one, so we're entering the intermission in a 0-0 tie once again. But finally, late in the period, someone's getting on the board, and it's going to be the Montreal Canadiens. Sean Monahan's going to sauce it over to Mike Hoffman. He's going to quickly send it over to Josh Anderson, open in front of the net. He's getting a backhander off, and Montreal's going to be scoring the first goal of the game. And that's not going to be the only goal of the period, because moments later, Cole Caufield going to bring the puck into the zone. He's going to make a short pass to Nick Suzuki, whose shot's getting blocked, and then Suzuki's just going to casually shoot from behind the net, because obviously this is a great decision, and that's going to be Montreal's second goal of the game. With us already being so late into the second period, those are going to be the only 2 goals of the period, so we're entering the second intermission with Montreal having a 2-0 lead. And it's going to stay a 2-0 game, because Jake the Snake's going to be picking up the shutout, and the Ottawa Senators are getting shut out, which is allowing them to advance to the second round. Of course, a former St. Louis goalie has to play elite. That's just common for them. The next match we're going to have is featuring an up-and-coming team in the Buffalo Sabres and a poverty franchise in the San Jose Sharks. With 4 minutes left in the first period, Coates going to be bringing the puck into the zone. He's going to wait until a trailing Oscar Lindblom is able to catch up. He's sending that over to him, and Lindblom's going to make a nice little move, and he's burying this one in the back of the net. And that's not going to be the only goal from Lindblom, because late in the second period, Sturm's bringing the puck into the zone. Lindblom's going to pick it up, a quick wrist shot's beating Craig Anderson, and he's got his second of the game. And 2 goals from Lindblom are going to be the only goals in this game, and the San Jose Sharks are defeating the Buffalo Sabres, so that means the Buffalo Sabres are advancing, and that means the better team has lost in all 4 matchups so far. Not really how I was thinking this video would go. Heading into the second half of our first round matchups, we're going to see the Pittsburgh Penguins taking on the Chicago Blackhawks, and I think the Chicago Blackhawks heard the rules of this video, because Seth Jones is going to make a horrendous turnover right over to Sidney Crosby. He's getting the breakaway, and of course Crosby's going to be burying this one. But after that goal early in the first period, we're not going to be seeing any offense from either of these teams, as we're going to be entering the second intermission in a 1-0 lead for the Penguins. In the final seconds of the Penguins power play, Evgeny Malkin's going to secure the puck along the boards. He's going to attempt to send this over to Jake Getzel, but a defender's getting their stick on that. Unfortunately, that means the puck's going right to Rickard Rakell, and he's giving the Penguins a 2-0 lead. And 2 goals is more than enough for the Penguins as they're going to be shutting out the Chicago Blackhawks, and you can hear the fans of Chicago cheering as they got shut out because that means they're advancing to the second round. Our next matchup is featuring a massive poverty franchise and the Vancouver Canucks. With both of these teams knowing exactly what's on the line, of course, we're not going to be seeing any offense in the first period, but early in the second period, the offense is going to get going. But T.S. Massaui is bringing the puck into the zone. He's going to try to dish over to McBain, but it's going to be deflected. McBain's still going to get control of the puck, and he's beating Thatcher Demko to get Arizona on the board. And then the Arizona Coyotes are going to go on to shut out the Vancouver Canucks. This poverty franchise won when they were supposed to lose. That's an Arizona Coyotes moment right there. So our next matchup doesn't really make too much sense because we have one of the greatest franchises in the St. Louis Blues taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. Not really too sure how St. Louis ended up in this position. Halfway through the first period, Cates is bringing the puck into the offensive zone. He's going to send it over to Owen Tippett. Tippett's going to send a shot short side on Jordan Binnington, and that one's going to sneak past Binner. The St. Louis Blues would be able to respond minutes later as Kapanen's going to send a slap shot towards the net, and Torpachenko's going to be right there for the rebound to even up this game. But in the second period, this is where things fall apart for the Philadelphia Flyers. Jordan Binnington sprawling over the place, but he's not going to be able to make the save, and Travis Konecny's going to put Philly up once again. And the Philadelphia Flyers would continue to build on that momentum as once again, Binner's just flopping all over the place. He's just getting screwed by some bad animations right now. Now Binnington, I can't defend you on this. Justin Falk's going to do a great job of getting back into the play, but how are you getting beat short side here? Falk did a fantastic job covering the far side. You had one spot to cover, and somehow you still couldn't make the save. And you thought the Flyers goal scoring was done in the second period? Nope, they're going to pick up their 5th goal of the game, and St. Louis isn't getting back into this one. Now you might be wondering, why did I say this is a bad period for the Philadelphia Flyers? They just scored 4 goals. Ain't no way they're blowing a 4-goal lead. St. Louis is off to the next round. Robert Thomas would be able to pick up a late goal in the game, but it doesn't matter. Philadelphia is going to blow us out. They're getting eliminated, and St. Louis is off to the second round. In our final matchup of the first round, we're going to have the Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Nashville Predators. A little over 6 minutes into the first period, Tom Cena is going to poke the puck away from Jake Bean. He's got himself a breakaway, and you know he's not going to ruin this chance, so Nashville's getting on the board first. Just moments later, Columbus is going to be bringing the puck into the offensive zone, and Oliver's going to find Foodie, and Foodie being wide open in the slot, he's going to bury this one to even up the game. And after 2 goals in the early stages of the first period, the second period is going to be a scoreless one, so we're headed to the second intermission in a 1-1 tie. Early into the third period, Patrick Lyon's going to bring the puck into the offensive zone, and some nice skating is going to free up Jack Roslovic wide open in front of the net. Patrick Lyon is dishing that to him, and that's going to be an easy goal for Jack. But off the ensuing faceoff, Nashville's immediately going to work. Sherwood's sending it over to Evangelista. After a few deflections, the puck's going to be loose in front of the net. Sherwood's securing that. He's going to rip one past Merzlikins to tie this game up. And then seconds after that goal, Evangelista is going to work once again. He's going to spot the trailing Tyson Barrie. Barry's getting a shot off. He's beating Merzlikins, and the Nashville Predators are up once again, and they're going to be holding on to that 3-2 lead, so they're taking this one away from the Columbus Blue Jackets. So with the first round of the books, we're down to 8 teams, and 5 of these teams were actually favored in their series. Not really too sure how that works, but anyways, we're going to move on, and now we have the Calgary Flames taking on the Detroit Red Wings, and Detroit's not going to be messing around early in this game. Some nice passing for the Red Wings is going to find Dylan Larkin wide open. He's got Jacob Markstrom out of position, and he's going to be burying this one, and the Red Wings continue to push. David Perron, he's got the puck in the offensive zone. That's going over to Mo Sire, who's crashing towards the net, and now he's beating Jacob Markstrom. After that early onslaught of goals, we're going to go scoreless for a bit, so Detroit's entering the second intermission with a 2-0 lead, and they're holding on to that 2-0 lead as Ville Husso's picking up the shutout, shocking the heavily favored Calgary Flames, and they're entering the top 4 with a chance of Bedard. Who would have seen this one coming? Once again, we're going to see 2 higher ranked teams matching up against each other, and that's going to be the Ottawa Senators taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Late in the first period, Buffalo's going to get something going on in the offensive zone. Middlestad's going to send it over to Greenway, who's getting a weak backhander off, but somehow that's going to be beating Cam Talbot. I think Cam Talbot's low-key selling. What a champ. I respect it. And then off the faceoff, right after that goal, Casey Middlestad's going to be found crashing towards the net. He's actually fanning on a shot first, but then he's going to get his own rebound. Somehow it's getting between Cam Talbot's legs, and Cam Talbot might go down as a hero in Ottawa for purposely allowing these goals. But it seems like the rest of the team didn't get the memo, because with seconds left in the first period, Kachuk sending over to Batherson. He's getting a quick wrist shot off, and he's beating Craig Anderson to keep the Senators in this game. And it seems like all the incredible work that Cam Talbot did is not going to mean anything, because off the faceoff, Chicken's going to send over to DeBrincat. He's getting a one-timer in the back of the net, and Ottawa's evened up this game. And late in the third period, you have to blame Claude Giroux. He's going to score the winner. And Ottawa, you no longer have a chance at Connor Bedard, because you're making the 2-goal comeback to win this game. Poverty franchise. Moving on to our next matchup, we're going to see the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Vancouver Canucks. And Vancouver, you guys aren't that slick. I see Quinn Hughes accidentally turning the puck over to Jason Dickinson. Now I'm catching on to you guys. You can't be tanking like this. And after that goal early in the first period, the second period would be a scoreless one, so we're entering entering the second intermission with Chicago having a 1-0 lead. And then Vancouver, it's an immaculate tank job. Honestly, I have to give it to you. Allowing a goal like this off a breakaway, nah, I just have full respect for you guys right now. But it seems like JT Miller didn't get the message, because with 45 seconds left in the game, he's scoring to keep Vancouver in this game. What are you doing, my guy? But luckily, Chicago's going to pot the empty netter, so Vancouver's entering the Final Four. With our final matchup of the second round, we're going to see the St. Louis Blues taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I'm looking forward to a Jordan Binnington classic. But right now, we're on pace for the wrong type of a Jordan Binnington classic, as we're entering the first intermission with a 0-0 tie. And halfway through the second period, Toropchenko's bringing the puck into the zone. A nice pass over to Kapanen. He's quickly dishing it over to Logan Brown, and he's getting St. Louis on the board first. And somehow that goal from Logan Brown is going to be the only goal of the game, and Benner's going to pick up the shutout, which is eliminating the St. Louis Blues. Now you started playing good. You hate to see it, you really do. We're entering the Final Four, and we're down to 4 teams. The Calgary Flames and the Buffalo Sabres, and the Vancouver Canucks and the Columbus Blue Jackets. By rights, only one of these teams should be here, but I think we know which team I'm talking about. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to our first matchup, and that's going to be the Calgary Flames taking on the Buffalo Sabres. And for some reason, the Calgary Flames decided, you know what, I'm going to score in the first 30 seconds. Lindholm's bringing the puck into the zone. It's going to Mangiapane quickly over to Tyler Toffoli, and Calgary's on the board just like that. But the Buffalo Sabres, they're a very respectable franchise, so they don't want to make it seem like a tank. So Jack Quinn, he's going to send a rocket past the blocker of Markstrom, and he's evening this game up. But early in the second period, something very strange happened. The Calgary offense just started flowing. They're going to score a minute into the second period. Right after that, they're pushing once again, and Calgary's getting on the board just 60 seconds later. And they're not done there. 7 minutes into the second period, Kadri's getting a great chance. He's going to bury this one, and the Calgary Flames just scored 3 goals in 7 minutes. Absolute clowns. And with the 3-goal lead that the Calgary Flames have, the Buffalo Sabres aren't even going to attempt to come back into this game. They're falling 4-1, and they're off to the final matchup with a chance of getting Connor Bedard. But first, we have to see who the Buffalo Sabres are going to be taking on. That's going to be either the Columbus Blue Jackets or the Vancouver Canucks. It was a magnificent tank between these two teams in the first period, as it's going to be a scoreless one, so we're entering the first intermission in a tie. 5 minutes into the second period, Patrick Laine is going to pass the puck over to Jake Bean, who's getting a shot towards the net. He's going to ring that one off the post, but somehow the Vancouver defenders are just unable to clear the puck, and Columbus is taking a 1-0 lead. So at this point, I'm just fully convinced Vancouver's tanking, because there's no reason you're turning this puck over unless you are tanking. This guy in Vancouver didn't even attempt to keep it away from Columbus. And to finish this game off, the Vancouver Canucks are going to be getting shut out. Columbus is scoring an empty netter, and now we've got our final matchup set. So here we are, our final 2 teams, the Buffalo Sabres and the Vancouver Canucks, 2 teams that definitely should not be here. Like, we should be seeing the Anaheim Ducks, the Columbus Blue Jackets, maybe even the Chicago Blackhawks, but definitely not the Buffalo Sabres and the Vancouver Canucks. But hey, we're seeing a fantastic tank job between these 2 teams, so let's see who can tank the hardest. Halfway through the period in the greatest tank, the Vancouver Canucks are once again turning the puck over in the defensive zone. Never seen that one before. I just have to give complete respect to this team, because it's just such an immaculate tank job. And then with 5 minutes left in the first period, Tage Thompson's going to get sprung for a breakaway. Don't even know how he got between these 2 defenders, but he's giving Buffalo a 2-0 lead, and Vancouver's loving what's going on. But as we know, the Vancouver Canucks just can't blatantly tank, so they got to make it look somewhat competitive. So Ethan Bear's going to throw a shot towards the net. Makheyev's getting a stick on that, and he's keeping the Vancouver Canucks in this game. But when the third period came around, the Vancouver Canucks just forgot how to play hockey. They didn't take a single shot in this period, and they actually pulled their goalie at the 12-minute mark. Don't quote me on that. That may or may not have happened. The footage just got lost, so there's no proof of it. And the Buffalo Sabres, they're taking this game. They're celebrating. They think they've won something, but they actually haven't, because the Vancouver Canucks have gone 0-4 in the bracket, and they're taking home Connor Bedard. I have full respect for the city committing to the tank. It was an incredible thing to watch.